Drums and Wires. I'm your host Fuzz Psych, otherwise known as Paul, and today we're going to go over some things I picked up on Record Store Day this year. I was outside Encore Records at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I was nowhere near the first person to be there. But I got everything I wanted that they managed to get in, plus I got some stuff other places as well. So let's go over what I picked up on Record Store Day, plus I have a few other things to show you as well. First off is the Talking Heads CBS Columbia demos. These are the earliest demos they've done back when they were still just a three-piece, and this is amazing. This sounds very full considering it's just the three of them, and a lot of these songs either didn't show up at all or showed up in very different versions later on in their career. It plays at 45 RPM for better sound quality, and I highly recommend picking this up if you get the chance. This is primo Talking Heads. Up next is the Mooney Suzuki People Get Ready 25th Anniversary pressing. Comes with a bonus rare track plus a live album as well. I saw the Mooney Suzuki on this tour opening up for Bratmobile and the Donnas. I never heard of them. They did their set. I walked over to the merch table, threw down my wallet and said, what do they got? One of the best live bands I've ever seen. The reissue is on this nice yellow vinyl. And the live album, which unfortunately isn't the best sound quality in the live album. I'm not sure what the source is of it. The live album's on what they are calling oil spill vinyl, which is just clear with a big black splotch in the middle. It was still a great performance on the disc, but like I said, the sound quality isn't the greatest on that. I also picked up MC 900 for Jesus, the Welcome to My Dreams 35th anniversary issue. I'm not a big hip hop type guy, but this is a lot more jazzy and with some really killer lyrics, mostly spoken in a storytelling type of way, as opposed to say rapping. It's the 30th anniversary, 2 LPs on silver vinyl. There you go. The second LP is demos, mostly and remixes. The demos are interesting if you're a big fan, but they're totally necessary. Also managed to pick up, that was everything I got at Encore Records. I also picked up the CD for the Pink Floyd bootleg. I didn't bring that in here. I must have forgot it. But that sounded pretty good. It is a bootleg, however, it is recorded from the audience. Steven Wilson has remastered it and fixed it best he could. It is quite listenable, and it's a great show from 1975. Next, I went over to Rebel Records in Waterloo, having their first ever Record Store Day, and I grabbed the two things I've been looking for that I hadn't been able to find at Encore. First one is Deja Voodoo Cemetery. This has been out of print since 1984, never been on CD, and they released just 300 copies for Record Store Day in Canada this year. So I was very happy to grab this Sludgerbilly classic there. They invented Sludgerbilly. It's good stuff. I also found finally the 13th Floor Elevators We Are Not Live. And this is this is a redo of the 13th Floor Elevators live album from the 60s, where they just took demos and outtakes and added the sounds of a boxing match underneath it to make it sound like a live album. This release doesn't have the live sound effects on it. It's just the music, and it's so much better. It's so much better. That was everything that was Record Store Day related. I picked up a few other things as well on that day, including this copy of the MC5 Kick Out the Jams. This is the 1969 pressing, and it is an edited version. The one our group says radio version, which still makes me laugh because who's going to play the MC5 on the radio in 1969? Whatever. But I didn't have this on vinyl. I need to get one more MC5 album to complete them on vinyl. But this is a classic, and I'm sure you all know about this album. It is a classic. Next up, some obscure psych from a band called Pussy. The originals for this go for stupid amounts of money, and I'll never have one. So I was happy to find this reissue. The album is called Pussy Plays. It's from the late 68, I believe. 69, sorry. 69, I stand corrected. This reissue is on cream-colored vinyl. And it's a great psychedelic artifact from its time. There's even a theremin-based song called Comets. A lot of fuzzy guitars. So if you're into that sort of thing, Pussy Plays. I also saw a couple of bands play that weekend. I was at Zed Brantford in Brantford, and I got to see a band called Luge I'd never heard of before. Picked up their album after their set. They were wonderful. It's proggy, punky goodness, and the vocalist reminds me of the Waitresses. So I enjoyed this. Picked up their album. And also the reason I went there was to see Darkbird play. Darkbird are this lo-fi psychedelic band from town here, friends of mine. And this is their latest album. It just came out on Record Store Day. It's on this gorgeous blue vinyl. I got a psychedelic, Velvet Underground-y. Recommend if you like that sort of thing. It just came out. I recommend trying to get it. It's available from the Z Brantford website if you're in Canada like me. Also getting distribution other places. That was everything I got on Record Store Day. A few of the things that have trickled in the meantime is July Talk, Touch X. It's the 10th anniversary of their Touch album. So what they did was they went in and re-recorded the whole album to be more like the way it sounds nowadays with the extra band member and the live versions. And they included a second album called Love's Not Dead, which is a complete album of extra songs they recorded at the time of doing Touch. That's on a nice red vinyl. Apparently they recorded like 45 songs for Touch. So we've only heard about 20 of them all told now. But hopefully one day we'll get to hear some of the other ones as well. But this was an excellent release from July Talk. I went into a mall the other day and there was a comic shop in there. The comic shop now has a few bins of records. So I went in and had a look at what they had. It wasn't much, but I did find some things there. They were having a sale on their bin stuff. So I was happy to get this reissue of the Flower Traveling Band Satori, sealed at $15. I couldn't go wrong with that. This is also on a nice red vinyl. This is a classic Japanese psych rock album. If you're not familiar with it, I highly recommend it. There was a Canadian version of Satori, but it's got totally different tracks on it. Just worth having an original version of it. This is not an original copy, of course. This is a reissue, like I said. When I got it home, I found out it was an unofficial reissue as well, which I prefer that term to bootleg. It's not a bootleg. Let's get something straight here. This is a pet peeve of mine. A bootleg is a release of material that was not authorized, say live shot, live concert, demos, outtakes, radio broadcasts, things like that. A pirate is a copy of something that is available commercially, such as that Flower Traveling Band right there. There's the difference. People by bootleg has become to mean anything like that. But I still maintain bootlegs and pirates are different. The record companies lose nothing on bootlegs, but they do lose money on pirates. That's my 2 cents worth for the day here, if we're going to be geeky about it. Also picked up another Larry Coryell album. I mentioned him last time. Great guitar player. This one is mostly acoustic. I much prefer his electric work, but it was still a fine listen. And going back to the 60s again, I picked up the Raiders Indian Reservation for like $2.50. Can't go wrong with this. It's a solid album. Everybody knows that song, Indian Reservation, I'm sure. And I also picked up a copy of Love Sculpture, Forms and Feelings. This is a UK copy for $5. Early pressing. I couldn't resist. I have a Canadian one I picked up years ago, but I couldn't resist an early UK pressing for $5. And this is a great guitar-centered hard rock, psychedelic type album that I highly recommend. Dave Edmunds in his younger days. And last but not least, if you haven't heard this yet, the Flea solo album is incredible. It is a jazz album. There's no way around that. It sounds nothing like the Red Hot Chili Peppers. But this is a gorgeous record. It's got Nick Cave on here doing Wichita Lineman. Is a version of Maggot Brain, but instead of being done on the guitar like the original, it's all done on trumpet. This is Flea mostly playing trumpet and electric bass, of course. There's also an acoustic bass player on here. This comes up on a nice red vinyl. It's only 3 sides, though. The 4th side is full of etchings of lyrics from some of the songs on the album. Live for peace. Good advice. Well, thank you very much for bringing me here again. I'm glad you joined me. If you like what you see, like and subscribe. You know the drill. And we'll see you next time. Thank you very much. Bye bye.